Disenchanted Evening. Do the announcer voice. Do it.
Disenchanted Evening. Jennifer Stone.
No.
Wizards of Waverly Pond.
No, I didn't say
David DeLuise.
There we go. In case everyone forgot our names and what show we're talking about, thank you for refreshing their memory.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I can do the whole show like that.
Please don't.
Or should I just do the wand?
Give me that. Give me that. You're
no,
dead.
that's my wand.
It's my wand now.
Okay.
I'm the captain now. It's my wand.
Okay.
None for you, Glenn Coco. Okay, all the movie references. So to give me what's the latest?
Well,
I like
first
this.
of all, how are you today? How are you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm really good. I'm rested. I had some days off from the hospital, which is always nice.
How long do you work?
They're 12-hour shifts. It's 12 hours, 3 days a week.
12 hours. And then sometimes they do a double, which is 24 hours or no?
No, well,
You're
you
not
always go home
allowed.
in between. Well, people's lives would be in danger. Can you imagine if your nurse or whatever that was doing your code
was exhausted and
was exhausted? I mean,
12 hours is long already.
It's long. Yeah. I mean, we work overtime. But the funny thing was when I went to nursing school, everybody was like, oh, you guys got to get ready for these long days. And I'm like, I'm used to it. Granted, it's definitely harder than being on set because we're like dogs in a kennel. We go into our trailer, go to sleep, go to our dressing room, go to sleep, and then they wake us up when they're ready. But 12-hour days, they were not foreign to me. I was very used to doing 12-hour days.
A lot of times people say that acting is hurrying up and waiting.
Yes.
You know, get here.
Or as my dad likes to put it, much ado about nothing.
Yeah.
That's
good.
That's what my dad always said. He goes, all this is just much ado about nothing. And then he goes back to his farm in Texas.
So we had
so I'm not in this episode, but I was there doing
bullshit.
School.
Wait, are you ready?
Disney.
Oh, we're doing it together.
I like it. But yeah, I wasn't in this episode, but I was around because I was school. I was always banking school.
So
I have not had a summer break until like the summer of 2019. So I always just did school all the time.
I did a TV movie when I was with my dad and I played his son.
Yeah.
It was called Happy. Henry Silver was in it. And my dad always said to me and my brothers, you can always enter this business, but you can only have a childhood once. So I did
Thanks for bringing that up. No, I'm kidding.
30 years too late.
Yeah.
But we did do a little acting here or there. And my dad was basically like, when I could drive myself to auditions is when I could go. So as soon as I got my car,
that's good.
the first thing I did was an episode of Hunter. Was a Fred Dreyer show where I played a purse thief with sideburns. Yeah. Look it up, everybody. DavidDeLuiseHunter.com.
I think by the end of this podcast, we're gonna go through your whole IMDb.
That's my life.
It's your life. It's your life. I need to get better about talking about what I've been in. I don't know.
But I realized when I was doing this movie with my dad that it was exhausting because I had to do, it wasn't just like work. It was school and work and school. And by the way, Dee Wallace from Cujo and the mother of E.T. was in it. And she was great. She was so
One of my favorite things from Cujo is
the dog.
Yeah. So what I love about Cujo and his great disposition, beyond the fact that I love Stephen King, there's one shot, she's like carrying her like dead son into the house, whatever, in that movie. And you see the kid go like this. And
oh, really?
Yeah. For those listening at home, basically he's dead and she's carrying her like dead son inside. And you see him like look up at the camera and play dead again really quickly. It's gold. It's fantastic.
I got to rewatch Cujo.
Yeah,
and my wife and I, whenever we're watching a program, we always go up, look into the camera, and we'll go back and freeze frame it. And I did this. I don't know if it was this episode that we're talking about, but I did a great. Maybe it was pudding. I was talking about pudding.
Yeah,
it was this episode.
Okay, perfect. We're talking about it.
Yes, because I complained to Maria that there's not enough pudding. So I do a throwback. I look at her and I'm like, if we had enough pudding.
Did you catch
and
the
then
can?
I looked into the camera and then turned back.
At least you're not mouthing somebody's lines. Or my favorite one that I've ever seen, it was behind the scenes it was an extra in a movie where like a bomb was about to go off. And it was this like crux of the whole freaking project or something that this bomb was going to go off and nobody knew it. But you see this little kid in the background cover his ears and he goes like this right before it goes off. It's fantastic. It's so good.
That's so funny.
Okay, so what do you remember about this episode other than the pudding?
Nothing.
No.
What's his name? Who was
Daryl
on the show?
Sabara.
Daryl, yes. Yeah. Who was, for people who don't know, he was from Spy Kids.
Which was my first acting job ever, because I was an extra in Spy Kids 3.
What?
Yeah. So I distinctly remember watching him film whatever, because they filmed it at Six Flags over Texas.
Oh, wow.
And I remember it was such a magical day because I was an extra and it was the first time I'd ever been on a set. And I remember watching him and Emily Osment, which is so crazy that it's such a small world. I ended up working with both of them and seeing them again.
So nice.
Yeah. And seeing them, and Taylor Momsen, because she was in that movie too, and they were rescuing her from.
Did you tell him? Did you tell them?
I don't know if I ever told him that. No. And it's crazy because he went on to marry Meghan Trainor, and now they have this adorable son with his glasses, and
It's so.
I haven't
crazy.
spoken to him in years. I hope he's well.
He was big. He was pretty famous when he came on the show. Mm-hmm. Like he was like. Because this is also, again, in the first season. So, no one had seen the show before, but we all knew Spy Kids and we knew him.
Yeah, of course. It was such a big franchise.
Yeah, it was interesting. I really liked what he did, but he had a tough thing.
Oh, God.
Because the running joke where he's like, the first thing is he's being picked on. He's a wizard. By the way, I don't think down the road there were a lot of other...
No, he was one of the few.
Oh, look. There's another wizard at school.
No, it was always like we went into the wizarding world and there were wizards, or that was it. Well, there was never any in the regular world.
It focused more on the family having this secret rather than there were so many other. I mean, then
Disney loves a secret,
and of course they
Disney loves a secret.
Disney.
They're a secret pop star. They're a secret wizard. They're a secret.
Forgot what I was saying.
So you were saying he was really big at the time.
Right. And he had this gag where the guy is the
you wanted to forget that gag.
He's like, we're gonna go get a pizza because because of the zits on his face, and he's like, I'll show you a pizza.
Oh my God. They drilled it into the ground, and I wasn't even in that episode, and I just remember from watching rehearsals being like, shut up.
It was annoying, right?
I hated it. I don't know if that ever bugged him like crazy.
I think maybe there was something to that somebody said that, and it was annoying to the powers that be, the writers and
people, just the worst. Because he did have a hard challenge with that because he had to try to make that funny 12,000 times, and it was just like, and the rest of us, and even at the end of the episode, his parents goes, "That was never funny." Right. Or something like that. And I'm like, thank you. It wasn't fucking funny.
When they pop out, because they're under a spell, they've been enchanted and allow him to use magic whenever. What do I say? Free Willy. I say Free Willy. Using magic, Free Willy all the time, like the willy-nilly or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes when I have lines where I don't speak that way, it's tough for me. And I always want to make it my, using magic whenever you want.
What's the thing when you're like memorizing lines? You can always tell, not that I'm talking about our show, of course, but but you can always tell like if something's not written well because your brain won't hold on to the words.
Yeah. Which is most everything.
No.
I'm kidding. If it's good, if it's well written, it's a lot easier to remember the dialogue.
Your brain holds on to the dialogue easier.
For sure.
So I wonder if it's kind of the same thing. Or like your brain goes willy-nilly, like tries to...
Did you just say willy-nilly?
Yeah, because that's where you said it came from. I don't know.
100%.
It's like willy-nilly and like free will. I don't know.
Yes.
But like your brain tries to correct it.
Right. Yeah. Free willy rather than willy-nilly. It's very interesting to me that I try to change it, but then the job is to make it work the way that it's written. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to go on auditions and I would add here, there, and and like I would always, if there's a button, which everybody who doesn't know is the last thing that's said in a scene. We call it the button, or for a joke, right?
Yeah.
And I always would add stuff. And I recently took an acting class, 5 years ago, where it was taught by a casting director. And he said, it's better to stay on book. It's better to do the exact lines that are written rather than adding things. Now, listen, I added a lot of stuff.
So, and because to me, I'm like, unless it's Aaron Sorkin, get over yourself. You know what I mean?
I auditioned for him.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
Newsroom, right?
Oh my God. I wanted to be on that show so bad. I auditioned for and I think it went to one of Meryl Streep's daughters, pick one. But it was I auditioned once for that show, and it was for one of the political on the road kind of what do you call those? I'm not very political.
A political on the road.
The person that goes on the road with a campaign, younger people will often do it. Just graduated. We're talking to two actors. I don't know. On the political campaign staff or something. So I was supposed to be on the bus with one of the main characters that was going on this political campaign. And I didn't get it because I'm not one of Meryl Streep's kids. But darn, I'll have to work on that. Yeah, sorry. That was a side note. That show was so good.
I'm a huge fan. And
would you audition for a newsroom?
Well, it was one of the people got arrested, and Jeff, the famous person who's the lead, came in and was trying to go to the cop at the front desk who wasn't giving him the time of day. He was like, who is it? What is it? Forget it, but whatever. He was a New York guy.
Yeah.
And it was a callback. It was me. I can't remember his name. He did the voice of the robot on Futurama. Really nice, sweet guy.
Yeah. I can see his face.
And he's the one who eventually got it. But I went in super nervous, and I had to say really tricky, dialogue that there was words that were not going into my mouth properly. But I tried my best, and he was going to read with me.
Aaron Sorkin was going to read with you?
He was going to do that. And I was even more nervous.
I would have died.
And, because I'm known more as a comedic actor, do you make a joke? Do you act yourself in the audition room and then go into serious stuff? I don't know. But he he goes, I'm going to read with you. He took a sip of Diet Coke and then started choking. He was choking. He's choking. And then I said, are you going to be able to read with me? Dead silence. Nothing. I was like, I should just fucking leave now. It was over. And then I fucked up that word, and I was like,
which in him you can't.
No, you can't fuck up anything. It's like Neil Simon. You have to do exactly right.
It's Neil Simon. It's Shakespeare. It's Aaron
Sorkin.
My
buddy got the part, so I was happy that he did the
now
show.
I want to rewatch that show. It's so good.
It is. That was Newsroom. Was a great show. What is his name? Jeff Daniels.
Yes. Jeff Daniels. Oh my God. And I think Jim was the character that he was getting out of jail, because I think I remember that episode.
Oh really?
I think so. Yeah, because it was the really smart, who of course the actor I had a crush on for 5 seconds, because that's just me.
You had a lot of crushes, Jen.
I'm talking to my therapist about it. It's a whole thing. I have a lot of crushes. I enjoy
not a bad thing. It's okay.
Yeah, I enjoy men and their presence, and
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's been a dry spell. I won't talk about it.
Okay, back to the show for a second.
Yeah.
I was watching it, as I do with my wife, who has never seen the show, so it's nice to kind of see her unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
There's a moment where at school, Selena is watching Daryl, my brother Daryl, and my other brother Daryl from the Bob Newhart show. I got it now. I'm locking it in.
There you go.
Name association.
Reference.
So he gets stuff spilled on him, and he goes to his locker, and there's a little shirts.
It's like the Jetsons closet or something.
It's like the thing where you do your dry cleaning stuff.
Yeah.
Is on there,
But they were tiny little crop shirts.
Yes, exactly. And
Except now the girls just wear that.
Right. I should wear a crop shirt. My wife started laughing so hard at
that bit.
Yeah, she thought it was really funny. She goes,
"No question. Did she laugh funnier? Laugh funnier? Did she laugh more at that bit than any of your bits?"
No, are you kidding me? Of course not.
She can stay. Yulia can stay.
I do this disclaimer. I laugh at me, and then I look at her, and she looks at me, and I go, "It's funny." She goes, "I know."
But honestly, it's a lot of pressure when you're watching, because I've been on. I've never actually, to be honest, I've never had a partner watch with me before. I've had partners that they're like, "Watch my shit." But I also have terrible taste, so that's on me.
But with friends, you've watched
it. No, the show? No, I've never watched Wizards with friends.
So wait a minute.
I've never watched
Picture Jen Stone. Oh, you only watch the show just by yourself. But
that's what I'm saying. It's so sad. It's literally, it's.
I can watch it. I can rewatch with you if you want.
I float out of my body and I judge myself as I'm watching it, because it literally, when I let go of the idea of me watching myself, it's fine.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And I can be nostalgic and I can enjoy it. But when I realize the absurdity of what's happening, where I'm like, I'm sitting alone at home with my cats, watching this show by myself, and it's
I love you so much. You're painting a really interesting picture right now.
You can say a dark picture. It's a little dark. I've got a cat under each arm, and I'm alone.
What are their names?
No, Zelda is the black and white one that pees on everything, and Clementine.
Are you fucking kidding me? How have we never had this conversation, Jennifer Stone?
What?
My dad, when he wanted to leave a party, you do a French exit, but you have to let the other people know that you're that you want to exit with.
Sure.
My dad would use the word Zelda.
Really?
He would say, "Oh God, Zelda's calling. We gotta talk to Zelda." Or he would work it in.
Mind-boggling.
That was his safe word to leave a party.
Was it a safe word for other things?
No, I don't know. It's my dad,
Sorry,
but it's so interesting to me.
I'm fucking with you. No, that's crazy. No, I named her after Zelda Fitzgerald. Because the Fitzgeralds are like my favorite couple, which explains a lot of my dating history. But anyway, and then my other cat's Clementine, who's like a calico, who's super cuddly. And
is Clementine from something that I don't know?
Clementine's from Eternal Sunshine.
The Spotless Mind. Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a good movie.
I love really stable women. I identify with stable women. Zelda Fitzgerald, and then Clementine, who was a hot mess. So I identify with very stable women.
It's sad. That movie ultimately is very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really
it is
funny.
Very sad, but it's one of my favorite movies, it parallels a lot with how I feel about relationships, and which also might explain a lot of things. So anyway, I'll be paying you for the hour. Oh
my God. So one of my favorite things in this episode was, as we've talked about in the past, it's Alex.
Yeah.
David Henry.
Yes, he does it.
Imitates me.
He does it. And
when
I love
I was watching it, I filmed it off the TV and then I sent it to him.
What did he say?
And he said,
put your glasses on.
Yeah. He said, stand by.
He said,
oh, I remember shooting that.
No.
It was so good. Such a great moment. I did my best Deloise.
I think we all had several moments where we all did our best Deloise.
I laughed. I didn't remember me being in one of the.
Well, you weren't in that
It's
scene,
the technical term interstitial. I mean, but you watch the show.
Yeah.
Or at least some people watch the show. But
I watched the show.
What is that called where you do the in-between, the interstitial? Right? Or the in-between the scenes.
Oh, the what is it? The transitions.
The transitions, right? What the hell is an interstitial?
It's also interstitials.
I'm
getting thumbs up from the peanut gallery.
Okay,
yes,
good.
It is interstitials.
So I didn't know I was in that. So it's nice to see things that you didn't.
Yeah, because you told me before, so you lied to me.
I didn't know. I'm not lying.
You're such a big old liar. No, that you had not done the transitions.
I did not remember that. I'm 51 years old.
Oh, don't blame it on that.
If I say that, my wife always goes, "What?" So I was in that, but I really just loved the fact that he imitated me. It was so cute, you know?
No, and he did it like spot on. That Alex, I don't do it right. I make it sound like I'm passing something.
I'm discussed as the father a lot more than I remember.
You're disgusted?
I'm disgust. Like, you don't know what my dad's like.
Oh, you're disgust.
Or my dad is like this.
I think you meant disgust, like disgust. Disgust.
Well, yes, I understand, but no, the other one.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah, you're a big topic of conversation.
But it was so sweet. I love that he responded to my text. No.
Yeah. Were you?
You see that? I make myself laugh, Jen.
I know. But life is short. You should. Were you in the stuff? Because I know in the episode, like, they go to Mars.
Yeah.
Were you in the Mars stuff?
I was not in the Mars stuff, but in rewatching. So Max, has a report on Mars. And now that magic is being used free nilly willy, whatever. They all go. Absolutely not. They all go to Mars.
Yeah.
And there's this. They see the Mars rover, which, by the way, there's a Mars rover now on Mars going around.
So crazy. At
the
time,
look at those photos at all?
My brother is really interested. My brother, for those at home, my brother's a high school history teacher, and he loves astronomy. So whenever he gets to teach like astronomy on the side, it's like his bread and butter. So he sends my family all the time. Like, okay, this star is now here, and this. Cool. So in 5 minutes, this is gonna like he loves it, and so I know it because of him.
Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing that there's a rover and the photos that are being taken. I follow it on Instagram.
It's amazing.
The helicopters working on there. The fact that we were able to do that and send, workable stuff.
Crazy.
And the pictures, and there's a lot of like things that I'm seeing. But I don't know. I follow like a UFO. I'm all into that shit, but they like circle. They're like,
I'll only judge you a little bit.
This doesn't look, this looks man-made or not alien made or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's in the show, they leave Max on Mars by accident, and then two like Martians come out and they're like, "Who was that? What was that?" They have like they're
subtitles.
Subtitles. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
No, and it does because at the time we didn't have that. Like in 2007 or what have you, when we shot don't quote me on that number, but like when we shot that season, there was nothing on Mars. Like we couldn't go to Mars, right?
That's what I was going to say. You know crazy. What? Listen. People can judge us. I don't think we had a rover on there, but there might have been.
I feel like we're going to get a lot of people being like, there was one actually, you dumb actors.
We could use the Google and find out.
Apparently Scrooge McDuck is going to comment on the show.
But one of the things that made me laugh so hard is Jake like fixes, and then they cut to NASA, the control center, and they're like, "We're back online."
Yeah, I love that cutaway too. It's so good. I don't know who wrote that bit, but it was a really good bit.
It was really funny. So Jake was 12 when we started, right?
Yeah, because Jake is. So I was born in 93 and he was born in 94.
Got it. Okay. So he's just a little younger
He's just a little younger than me.
But he really looks like a peanut.
He looks like he went through
pre-puberty.
On the show for sure.
Yeah.
Because I know like Selena and I had a hard time because he was always like baby Jake, oh sweet baby Jake. But he's like, guys, I'm not that much younger than you. Stop it.
Right.
Which is fair. But like we just were so used to him looking that way on the first season. And that's when we bonded with him. So that when he started bringing like girls around and stuff, I was like, oh God, no.
I mean,
like,
I know he does modeling and everything now, and he's a very handsome kid. But to me, he's just like little cute.
But that's
Jake.
what I'm saying is like when you first get introduced to someone, that's your concept of someone.
Yeah.
Is my concept to you still a 14-year-old?
No, well, we spend a lot of time together, so you're like a woman now, and you're a nurse and actress.
Well, and internally, I was always 45.
Writer, producer, director. You do a lot of stuff, Jen.
I take a lot of naps. I take a lot of 20-minute naps.
Apparently naps are important. Like Einstein would take naps, and so he would periodically sleep. I like to take a nap every once in a while. I just took a nap.
And he's back. And he's narcoleptic. And it's fine. But they're very important.
Also, I mean, just to go back to the pilot and everything, on the Amazing O'Malleys, which I want to ask.
You were not in.
I was not in. There was a whole different actor who was on, who played the dad.
Yeah, totally different feel.
And then when they came back and they were going to do the show, they offered me the part of the dad. And not that I had an audition for the Amazing O'Malleys, but they didn't ask me to audition again because I turned it down. Thank you, David. But they added Jake. Yeah. They added Jake.
There was no little brother. It was just, they were supposed to be twins.
Right.
So our creator, when he originally made it for like with the Amazing O'Malleys, I can't speak, which is really good. We're doing a podcast.
It's okay, Jen.
That's great. It's not like you have to listen to me speak.
So it was just the two kids and the friends.
They were twins. Right. And then David and I both had a friend.
Right.
David had Brandon Smith, who later went on to Sunny with a Chance. And then I was Selena's.
Right.
And I had done a pilot with Brandon right before that didn't get picked up. And so Brandon called me. His mom called my mom and said like Brandon's option didn't get picked up. So I was waiting for my phone call.
How long was that between filming to that conversation?
I have no clue.
Oh, okay.
I have no clue.
Oh, right. I forgot. You can't remember things in the past.
Short-term memory, baby. Short-term memory. I remember it being, because I was home in Texas. So I remember it being sometime, usually that means it's around like October, November, December when I was younger.
Usually the option is like 3 months or something.
Yeah, but Disney is longer.
Oh yeah.
Because the other pilot that we did, they held on to me for a year.
What the fuck?
I was on hold for a year.
Disney.
1,000%. Because I remember going to the Hannah Montana set to visit Mitchell because he and I had done a movie together when I was like 9 and he was a little like maybe 10, 11. And with his brother Mark, and I remember visiting them on the Hannah Montana set, And I think like Adam or Gary, one of the Disney execs were like going, oh, hey. And they're like, yeah, she just did a show for us. And I'm like, yeah, we're still waiting to see if it's getting picked up, which what I didn't realize was Vanessa Hudgens was in that pilot. And
then what, they were sitting on it.
They were sitting on it, and it wasn't going to go anyway. But then also too, all the stuff with Vanessa in High School Musical, like there was no way they were going to stick her on a show.
Sometimes they shelve something, sometimes they buy something because they don't want it to go.
But they sat on that sucker for a year.
Because then you couldn't do another show because you signed that contract.
Yeah, so I couldn't work for a year, which was like horrible for me for a lot of reasons. But Wizards, I remember the waiting time between the pilot and the show being like 6 months or something. So for me, coming off a year, I was like, this is great. It's like half the time.
I think, and you might know this better, they asked David Henry to come back and read again or something, right? Which is crazy. You do a whole pilot. I mean, this is back to what we talked about in the past, which is you don't know if you have a show.
I'll have to ask him about that though. But like, because I remember vaguely something of like originally he said no, he wasn't going to come back and audition, which is totally fair.
Yeah, of course.
They already saw what he could do, and then they were like, okay, fine, then we're moving on.
Right. Executives and the decisions and the things that they do, it's very weird. I remember Adam Bennett, who was head of Disney Channel, took Zendaya's photo and Bella Thorne and showed someone this and said, make a show.
Oh, really?
Just that was it. They were like,
did he tell you that, or was that like a story?
Yeah, he said, no, he was very proud of it. I had a meeting with him and he's like, this is what I did.
Yeah.
I made that, you know. I take credit for this,
yeah.
But somebody else, I don't know the creator's name, but somebody else like created Shake It Up.
About those two.
You know?
Okay. That makes sense. But Disney did that all the time. They did that with Selena where they wanted her...
Right.
They wanted her to have a show. They found they would find a person that they really loved, and then they would figure out where to fit them.
Right.
So like Selena did like the Lizzie McGuire spinoff that didn't get picked up the year before Wizards, and then Wizards she did the Sweet Life spinoff, and then Wizards is what ended up getting picked up.
Right.
So yeah, they did that all the time. So I'm not surprised.
It's very interesting. It's funny how this business
It's a weird business.
It is a very
I always tell
business.
people, I'm like, so when did you know and I'm going to ask you that question. When did you know you wanted to join the circus?
When I was born. So I was
born I know. You kind of really...
Well, but my parents, everything, you know, like my dad was on Broadway. My mom was on Broadway.
Wait, what did they do on Broadway? We've talked about this, but I just forget what show.
My mom did Once Upon a Mattress or Once Upon a something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My dad did A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Yeah.
And many, many other things, you know.
Because, you know, I started in theater. But I wanted to be theater until I saw Titanic. And then I was like, you can do movies? So that was the only reason I ever came to LA versus New York was because of Titanic.
How many times have you watched that movie?
Oh, my God. Well, my brother was obsessed with it.
Oh, really?
So I have seen... so many Titanic museums. I went to go see the Titanic Broadway musical, which no one knows about.
Oh, wow.
He was very into it. And so, yeah, we wore out those 2 VHSs to death. We watched them so much.
Was he obsessed with the movie or was he obsessed with Titanic?
He was obsessed with Titanic.
With the boat. Okay.
Yeah.
So he obviously watched the raising of the Titanic because Cameron found it, right?
Yeah. No, he obsessed with it. Less so now because he's moved on to like astronomy and like other obsessions. But like at that time, that was like all he could talk about. He could tell you everything about Titanic. He's just that kind of guy. Like he finds a topic he really loves and then he wants to know everything about it.
It's cool though.
It is really cool. But it was I've seen Titanic 1,000 times and still love it. But
Jen Stone.
Yeah.
I noticed something when I was watching this. The streaming service is different because our show was on Disney Channel and it was a certain quality.
Yeah.
And now you get to watch it on your phone. You get to watch it
Have
here,
they upped
there.
It on Disney Plus?
They have condensed it. So when you watch it or when I watched it on Disney Plus, when you do special effects scenes or that kind of stuff, like when the kids get zapped in or zapped out, the quality goes funny. It gets a little pixelated.
Okay.
You know?
So maybe, and I'm just going to say
that's why I look so fuzzy? No.
Maybe you're remembering the effects as being worse than they are because of Disney Plus.
Incorrect, Jennifer Stone.
You're like, no, they're still terrible.
No, it's not that they're terrible. They're silly, you know. And I don't want to. We had a wonderful crew, and they did an amazing.
Well, everybody worked really hard to elevate because we all knew we were making a kids show, and we all knew we were making a Disney show. But I think all of us worked really hard to elevate what that meant.
Of course, and maybe I'm watching more in the beginning where there wasn't as big of a budget. You know, that affects things, for sure with the special effects and everything. So when you're watching it, you're not seeing it get a little fuzzy or,
maybe I'm not that much attention to detail, but I'm going to look for it now.
I just see Jen with the Disney show. Where are my cats?
Oh God, that is such a bleak picture. I had to tell my mom to stop buying me cat things because I was like, you're driving it home too much.
Oh, that's
I'm like, I will die alone. You can't ask me about grandkids if you keep buying me cat shit. Like, you can't do that. Not literal cat shit, but stuff that's like, I opened cans or like whatever.
I had 2 cats. I had, before I had my first daughter, we had a cat, and Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman. Yeah. And our cat was black and white, and it looked like she had a mask on. So we named her Pfeiffe after Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, I love that.
Had that cat for 18 years.
They live forever. These are the first cats I've ever had, and I will have them forever.
It's a long time. And then I was like...
They don't die.
I wasn't ready to get a cat, by the way. I was 20. I was like, I don't want responsibility. Cut to a year later, I have a kid. But I was like, it's too expensive, I said to my then girlfriend.
They're very cheap.
And she came out with the cat, and she said... They gave it to me for free. And I was like, not the cost of the cat, for the rest of our lives. And the poop and the whatnots. And then there's something, and you know this, toxoplasmosis.
Oh, yeah.
Which means if you're pregnant, you can't get near the cat litter.
Yeah, you should try not to eat the cat litter.
Yeah, but then I had to clean the fucking cat litter for the rest of my life. And I was like, after the baby was born, I was like,
okay, hold on. You can get toxoplasmosis at any point, but you're more at risk because you and the fetus are more at risk.
Well, the ex...
Well, so you had to clean for the rest of your life?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because after we had the baby, I was like, you get to clean the shit out of the cat. And she's like, no, what if I get pregnant and I don't know? And I was like,
oh Lord. Well, that's between you and your therapist.
Yeah, right. And then they came home with, which we called Sage, a hairless cat. Like the
worst. They smell so bad.
But it just was, the
gargoyles.
Yeah, but what is it? They had it in, oh my God, Mike Myers with the mini-me.
Yeah.
Austin Powers. They had the hairless cat.
Yeah.
Well, this cat was an asshole. We'd leave for a second.
They're not great.
And our mail would come in from the front door, and the cat would pee on the mail. Do you know how fun it is to open mail with cat piss? Not fun. And I had to clean that shit. I'm
sorry.
It was tricky.
The worst my cat does is if I put mail on the counter, she knocks it on the floor. So I just have mail fucking everywhere.
So your cats don't pee around?
No, I have
willy-nilly?
I have one cat that they, and I love that we've gone from willy-nilly in the episode to cat piss. but no, I have one cat that I can tell, it's now my barometer for bad boyfriends. I'm going to stop talking about my love life on this show. It's really just awful.
Oh, it's good. You're working out. You're processing.
No, I'm not. I'm just mentioning that it's what it is. Anyway, okay. No, I need to, maybe I am processing because I do push it down. Whatever. Anyway, so I had this one cat that she hated, and this is my most recent ex, hated my most recent ex and would piss everywhere. Like I never had a problem with her going to the bathroom. Like
she didn't like him.
She didn't like him. But literally like until when I first got her, I had an issue and then she was fine. And then whenever I bring dudes in,
how many dudes come in, Jen? I mean, come on.
I had a lot of crushes on the show.
So, but this guy, the cat was like,
she hated
no.
Him. And so he was like, I don't get why she's pissing everywhere. And then I realized after we broke up, I'm like, it's you, buddy. Wow. It was you. You were the reason she was. And I sent him a very
some
healthy,
piss in the mail.
No, I sent him a very healthy text after we'd broken up, being like, by the way, she's not pissing on anything anymore. Guess it was you. And he's like, no, it wasn't. And I'm like, yeah, it was, asshole.
Like,
anyway.
You're a dick, buddy.
That's not, well, I mean, the animals know. Animals know.
I'm trying to remember other things that happened on this episode.
What happened? So what happened to Daryl? Like the spell came off.
He gets in trouble.
No, but how did that? But walk me through this because I watched it and then it slipped right out of my brain because my short-term memory is trash. But what was the thing? Because you and Maria are doing you're doing like a hula at the end of the episode. You remember this? You're all in the dinner scene together, and you're doing like a hula episode, like a hula dance. Like dancers come out, like a bunch of people from a lot of
different episode.
No, it is this episode. I promise you.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
the end of the episode is the parents finding out because they eat the brownie.
Yeah.
For some reason, David Henry.
My question is whether I'm having an aneurysm or not, which is always up for debate.
Yeah.
What was the thing that got them out of the spell? Because the whole thing
was a brownie. It was a brownie. David Henry.
But what was in the brownie?
It was. He says it's like pepper or cayenne pepper or something. There's an ingredient that changes the spell, and the parents were like, brownies. Our son tells us that brownies
brownie, and that's why I'm imagining the hula dancers. What the hell?
But she says brownies are illegal. It's against the law to eat brownies because they're charmed, and their kid doesn't want them to uncharm.
There's some episodes I don't remember great. This is one of them.
Well, I remember this because I watched it last night.
I watched it too. What's wrong with me?
But I then say they just changed that law yesterday, and then they give him brownies, and
then his whole life is ruined.
Yeah, and then that's when he says, "I'll show you."
You ruined a teenager's life, and then the dad goes, "That was never funny.
That was never funny.
Never funny." And all of us went, "Yes, it was not funny."
And it's over. Thank God. Okay, I want to ask you this question.
Okay, and then we'll do our crystal ball questions, and then we'll go back to our lives.
Mars. Okay, so
now
you're
gonna ask me about Mars. What's the circumference?
Well, here's the thing,
of Mars?
And I want to talk to your brother about this too.
Yeah,
but
he would know more.
There is documented stuff now from the military where they show us videos of crafts. They don't call it a UFO anymore. They call it something else. There's another term for it. Mm-hmm. But I'm really into this. And, people would be like, oh, yeah, alien life. But now there's
come on, the universe is too vast.
I agree. For
us to be that egotistical that we think we're the only ones.
And I'm sure there's more proof that the greater communities, like the government, like only releases a certain amount. We're only getting the tip of the iceberg.
Well,
for sure.
Did you see there was a really great Unsolved Mysteries episode because they brought that show back, which I love because I was a weird kid. Even though it scared the shit out of me.
I've watched a few episodes.
No, but there's one that you'll love where they talk about like the biggest UFO sighting or whatever the hell they're calling it now in Michigan. It was like off one of the like Lake Michigan or something. And like it was something where like they have so many reports that all match each other. That happened. And it was like one of in the United States, it's like the biggest recorded succinct UFO sighting.
So do you believe?
And you have and other
yes,
of course,
okay,
because I look at it this way.
Some people don't.
No, I know, and do I know? Do I think that they're little green men like we had in the episode? No, but do I think that the universe is so vast and huge and massive that it would be narcissistic to think we were the only things in the universe? That's crazy. Like, come on.
There's the new. Not the Hubble, but the new one. They called it something else. That's taking pictures of the universe that's out there now. It's amazing. The photos.
Beautiful. My brother sends them to me. We have like a family group text, and he sends them to us all the time.
Can I get in the family group text?
I can if you'll show up. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! I got the wand, everybody.
No,
Magic Crystal Ball segment.
Okay, I'm gonna do the first one because if I remember correctly, which we know is not reliable, but I'm
slightly nervous.
I will do the first
Jen's
one.
picking out
you did the first one last time. That's what I remember.
There it is. Yeah. Closing the crystal ball. This is not really a ball. This is more of it's
like an octagon.
It's an octagon. It's
like a sphere.
Crystal.
No, it's more than 8. I don't know. But yeah, it's not really. It was more the idea.
Oh no, I love it. It seems very crystal ball-ish.
Yeah,
I like it. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so what is your most treasured memory from filming?
That my kids got to come, and at least in the beginning, they enjoyed the fact that I love the fact that my kids could come to work. The fact that that was one of the reasons why I did the show, because when you're doing like a 1 hour, you go 6 in the morning to like 10 at night.
I remember Dylan being there all the time.
Yeah, Dylan is my youngest daughter.
Oh my God.
What I got to do, and Guy Distad, right? That's his last name. He was he directed some episodes, but he was our first assistant director who would schedule everything. And by the way, I didn't realize they pad the schedule just in case. So they add times. I didn't realize that. But
there was a lot you did not realize about how Disney shows go.
Thanks, Jen. So
anytime.
Usually we would start at 8.
Yeah.
Or sometimes 8:30 or 9. And I said to him, I said, if you call me in at 8, whatever, at 8:30, I can always drive my kids to school.
Yeah.
So I lived in West Hollywood. I would drive to Santa Monica and then back to Hollywood Center Studios, which is so funny because the studio was 7 minutes away from my house, but I'd have to drive, for people who don't know, it's like a half an hour to Santa Monica and then a half an hour back. And I always got to be with my kids in the morning. And sometimes I could pick them up at school. Yeah. But then it's hard being a dad sometimes.
Yeah.
I miss the kids being little. They're grown up now. They're 29 and 24, so they're potty trained. So it was just good. But, so I'd be able to have time with them, and that was my favorite memory, that I got to be with them and they got to come to set. Later on, they were like,
over it.
They're so over it. All their friends wanted to come to watch the show.
Having teenage daughters, that happens. You get less cool. I just remember Dylan learning her blue guitar.
Yeah. Amazing guitarist. Yeah. She played so well. Okay. Oh, this is a good one, everybody. Uh-oh. And when I say everybody, I mean Jen Stone. What would you have told yourself when you were on Wizards? What would you have told yourself back then?
Yeah, I think I've actually answered this one. But it's okay. I have a lot of things I would have told myself.
Okay, well then just one of them.
Because I think before I said savor it. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. Because I was so ready at the end of the show
to go.
I was so ready to go, and
that happens, Jen, to everybody.
I know, but I hate that I wasted the last season of the show just being like, oh, I'm so over this, just too cool for school bullshit, you know, that you do at 17 and 18. That I'm like, God, what an idiot. But because I remember my thought process, I had such an ego. I didn't have an ego. I had somewhat of an ego, and life later kicked me in the ass, which it needed to. I'm thankful for that, but I remember thinking, okay, so I'm going to go do my Freeform show or my ABC Family show, and then I'll do my ABC show, and then I'll do movies on hiatus. That was in my warped brain, that was the logical next step, and I was so ready to move on to the logical next step. And of course, that was not what happened, and I ended up, getting diabetes and going this whole nursing route, and I still act and still love acting, but it was something that I think I would say to myself, don't plan what you don't know. I think that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Savor it and don't plan what you don't know.
I like it.
How
about we do that now? Let's not plan what we don't know.
When people ask me questions of what do you want to do, what's your 5-year, 10-year plan? I'm like, I have no clue, because I've already, in my life, it's already shifted so much from what I thought.
I'm going to tell you what to say to them. Ask me the question.
All right. What would you do where do you want to be in 10 years?
Go fuck yourself.
See, I love that response. I do that sometimes without that question.
But I also love that people are listening and they're like, Jerry Russo just said, go fuck yourself.
He did it all the time to the kids. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding. He never.
Jen, I just, after what you just said, I know you don't plan things like what you were just saying coming up. But what happened was things, yes, diabetes, tough, but that drove you to also not just acting, but becoming a nurse and helping people. Yeah. So I would say that turned out to be a wonderful thing.
And that's the thing, is it's always too, because I've thought so much about how if I got exactly what I wanted, who would I be? What kind of person would I be?
I would be Leonardo DiCaprio. That's who I'd be.
No, but I look at if the plan that I had when Wizards had ended, if that had happened, I would have been an asshole. I would have been such an asshole if I got everything I thought that I wanted, and I wouldn't have appreciated it. And that's something now that it's I will never take my health for granted. I will never take getting to work on set. Even I would have my nose in the air about projects nowadays. You could give me the crummiest, cheesiest, whatever, and I would be so excited to be on set.
I
you know what I mean?
Saying.
It gives perspective, and I'm so grateful.
Listen,
for that.
everybody should have hard times because that makes the good times that much better.
But you have something to compare it to.
Yeah,
if everything's good, what the hell point of reference do you have?
But that's why it's hard for these kids on the Disney and all that stuff.
On the Disney and the channel.
But they all are given all these wonderful things right away.
It's an unnatural thing to happen so young.
Yeah.
To have that kind of money, to have that kind of attention and fame that young is unnatural. And I came from a very stable, I come from a very stable household. I had two parents who could give two shits if I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And a lot of my peers were not that lucky. Their parents were very invested in their careers. They supported their whole families. I only supported my love of acting. That was all I ever supported. And the rest went into savings account. Like,
can I borrow $10,000? Jen,
I've been to your house.
I'm going to disagree with you. If you did all those things, you would still be you. You have a wonderful quality about yourself that maybe you didn't know this, but I was more grown up than you back then, and I still am now. But I already knew you were going to turn out to be awesome, Jen Stone.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I know Peter told me you were always like too smart for this industry, but anyway,
it's true.
That was very nice. But okay,
I'm not gonna press the wand.
All right,
but I'm gonna say that
anyway.
This show is magic,
and now it's over. All right, have a good day, guys. Love you, Deloise.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this week's episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And if you want clips from this week's episode, head on over to the Podco YouTube channel. The link is in the description to follow. And if you just can't get enough wizards in your life, I know I can't, then head on over to our Patreon and follow for exclusive weekly bonus content. The link is also in the description. I'll see you next week.